Hello everyone, let's put the music on. And let's share this stuff. Daily charts live stream off now. All in to be confused along with me. Yes. Anyway. Just give that a second to go out. And I think it has gone. No, it's not yet. There you go. It's out on all the Discords. Right. Okay. So, let us begin. So welcome to the daily NFT market health analysis with me, Daniel Tenner, aka Swombat, where we're going to look at the state of the market and mostly, as I sort of alluded to in my thread today, like try to stay confused, try to stay in a state of I don't know, while still having access to all this data and looking and seeing that, there is something that the data is telling us and, remaining open. Because I think that where we are right now with all this is that the market is in a very unpredictable state. Even the data isn't really telling us exactly what's going on. I like for me anyway, maybe somebody else reads this data and says like, yeah, this is exactly what's going on. For me, and I've been staring at this data for like about 6 months now, like pretty much every day. And for me, it's not clear at all what's going on. It's not clear what's going on in crypto. It's not clear what's going on in NFTs. It feels like something else is going on. And by something else, I mean something else than what I think should be going on. And that's actually a really like interesting and I think positive and powerful state to be in, to stay open. As I said in my threads, like it's very easy to sort of draw these lines on the screen and think you know what's going to happen. You know that, okay, it's going to start going, like you draw a line, you're like, oh yeah, it's definitely going up now. And then finding out that actually like what happens is instead of the thing following your line, it goes and it decides to just go like this, and then it goes like this, and like things don't often go according to plan, and we are just slightly evolved apes who have managed some amazing feats of predicting the world around us, but we're still pretty crap at it at the end of the day. And so it's important to, I think, maintain that humility, and especially in times like now where a lot of strange stuff is going on and it's like really unclear what we're looking at and what is actually happening. I think I listen to a lot of podcasts about NFTs. I really try to inform myself. I try to learn as much as I can about how this space is going. I hear like conflicting perspectives all the time, and I think it's important, by the way, when trying to inform ourselves, to always listen to conflicting perspectives. If you listen to just one perspective, you're basically setting yourself up for being disappointed, because like the world is probably not going to follow that one perspective. And I listen to, like, which podcast do I listen to? I listen to Bankless, I listen to Overpriced JPEGs, I listen to Zeneca, to Bored Apes, Proof, Admit One. Like there's a bunch of those podcasts that I listen to, and I get very different perspectives from all of them. And and even just from Bankless, I think I get a bunch of different perspectives, and it's important and interesting because it helps keep me sort of like open to not knowing what the market is going to do. And so this week, as we know, has been a very interesting week. Let's start with crypto, actually, because that has been more the sort of like disaster area this week. And if we look at what's happened, let's even start even before crypto. Let's look at what happened, in the general markets. There was all this kind of like rates stuff and so on. And what we saw in the market was that it had dropped already by Wednesday quite a lot, and it didn't drop that much further by the time the rates were announced. Like Wednesday, that's the day that the rates were announced, 15th of June. And then after that, okay, this one, Dow Jones still dropped a little bit, but compared to what it might have dropped, it didn't drop as much. It looked like maybe people had predicted already, okay, this one, the FTSE dropped a lot, but people had predicted already that things were going to be bad, and they've kind of priced that in, and it didn't go quite as bad as I thought it would. Now in crypto, what we ended up having was actually the 15th was okay. It was very volatile, but it sort of like stayed around with the same price. But then we had a massive drop the next day. We went all the way to around 20,000. And then yesterday, of course, we had this drop. We went straight past 20,000, like all the way down, and we're hovering around the bottom 19,000, somewhere in in fact, we wicked down all the way to 17,500 yesterday. And I certainly hadn't predicted that we would just go straight through the 20,000 level that quickly. It's surprising to me. And the second thing that's surprising to me is that after going straight through the 20,000 level, which I thought was an important resistance level, we didn't collapse any further. Like the fact that we seem to have found some decent supports there around 17,500. People started buying it up. If we look at the hourly chart, there we can see that once it hit that level, there was a lot of resistance at that level that's resisted it going further down, and then it went back up with volume here. And maybe people are now feeling like it's a good time to start buying back into Bitcoin. I don't know what is going on. One of my guesses is that a lot of these collapses right now are happening because of liquidations, because of over leveraged funds and stuff like 3 Arrows and Celsius and so on that are over leveraged and deleveraging their positions. And when that happens, the price collapses a bit. And I wonder if what's happening is people with the smart money have been waiting for that stuff to happen so they can buy it up. So I can imagine a whale sitting there, a really big investor who's actually got good risk controls and all that kind of stuff, who's sitting there looking at the Celsius portfolio or something and saying, these guys are hot shots. They don't know what they're doing. They're just gonna they're gonna lose all this money. They're gonna have to sell it off on the cheap. I'm gonna wait until they collapse, and then I'm gonna buy up their shit for a massive discount. Maybe that's what's happening, and maybe that's why there's buying pressure coming in as well. That's kind of pushing the price back up. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know what's happening, and I don't know what's gonna happen next. And it's an interesting place to be. And I look also at Ethereum, and there, I've been surprised, although it did drop yesterday when, that massive drop happened in Bitcoin as well. It did drop to 882 or 880. It's then shot back up again, and it's been holding that's towards 1,000 level, staying around 1,000 for quite a while. It's dropped a few times below, but it's holding that as it's fighting a battle around 1,000. Which is what I was expecting to happen for Bitcoin around 20,000. Instead, this is the 20,000, and Bitcoin just fell through here. And it hasn't hit back. It's now a resistance level. It turned into a resistance level very rapidly. So I don't know what is going on. And I don't know what's going on in the NFT space either. So I was expecting, I've been calling for a couple of days this stuff traders volume, traders coming in and kind of getting the price to zigzag as it trends down. And I was sort of holding on to this theory, and it was looking volumes are trending down. And then this stuff happened, and this stuff is a whole pile of CryptoPunks being bought. And no matter which way I try to slice it, I don't see a bunch of CryptoPunks being bought at 50 ETH plus prices being a trader's bump. That's something else. So I noticed that I am confused. I noticed that I don't really know what's going on, and I'm therefore opening myself, making an effort to open myself even more to try and understand what could actually be happening here. And this is from a place of I don't know. Oops, let me switch back to this. This is from a place of I don't know. And it could be that I'm wrong and this is just noise, just somebody, I think it's multiple purchases though. I don't think it's just a single person buying them all up. I should check actually. Let's have a look. Is it a single person buying up all these punks, or is it a bunch of people? We can verify this kind of data. We don't have to take... I should have verified this before, but I didn't think to do it until now. So if we look at if OpenSea is willing to help us with this, CryptoPunks. Thank you. If we look at the activity, is it the same buyer? So we need the 2 as well. It looks like it's multiple buyers. I think some of those are gem and stuff like that, but there's multiple buyers buying in, causing this pump. It's not just one person. Obviously, there's some that reappear multiple times because they're buying several, but like there's a whole bunch of people piling into CryptoPunks. Unless this entire activity is fake, which I don't think it is, it's like it looks like there's some kind of real activity going on here, and that could be a portent that the market is actually turning around. So it could be that, you know, I've been saying that I didn't trust this thing, and I thought like it was kind of gonna go back down and maybe make a new low because of the market conditions. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this was the bottom or this, and maybe we are turning around. So like that this was the market bottom, and that somehow this sell-off is kicking off a growth phase. Perhaps. I don't know. I don't know if this growth phase will be anything like the other ones either. I'm kind of in an open state right now. I'm also noticing other things in the NFT market, which is that a lot of collections that could be dropping in, like, you know, and I've been saying this for a few days now. Like, I noticed that in the collections that I own, that the prices aren't dropping as much as I thought they might. Things seem to be holding up. So that's interesting. Like, I don't know why that's happening. Maybe like all the people who wanted to get out of the market have already gotten out. Maybe there's only people who want to actually stay bought into these projects long term that are bought into them. Maybe that's why there's no sell-off going on. We can see here that the prices are rising a bit. That's probably largely due to CryptoPunks driving the prices up, because CryptoPunks has gone from like a 50 ETH floor that they were holding for a while to where are they at now? They're at 60, so they've gone up by a chunk. Bored Apes is still at 86. It's not moving. It's very steady. Which CryptoPunks was the one that wasn't moving before. Maybe Bored Apes is the next one to be bought up. I don't know. It's an interesting place to end the week at. It's definitely been a very interesting week. Where it's very unclear where things are going next week. Are they going to continue trading down? Are they going to start going up? Are they going to hang around sideways where we are now, maybe trending down slowly? I don't know. It's interesting. At least I find it interesting. We're seeing also that this volume increase, I mean, Zeneca Old includes CryptoPunks in it, so that explains also why it's holding up quite nicely. Zeneca New doesn't, but it's still like, you know, doing better than it might. Like it could have gone straight back down. Instead, it's kind of going like this. So things are going better. Like volumes are holding up better, prices are holding up better. Everything seems to be holding up better than I expected. Like given the market conditions, I would expect like the NFT market to be like, especially the hype-driven side of the NFT market, to be just dying right now. And instead, I'm not seeing that happen. And okay, like, you know, that's reality. That's the reality that I have to accept, because that's the reality that is happening. Maybe it will happen later. Maybe it won't happen at all. But in those kind of times, I think it's important to stay open to what is actually happening, where it might go, and not like, you know, get locked into a single theory, and just stay observant. I want to note as well, by the way, that so if we go back to this mode, that volume-wise, if we go to the weekly candles, like this is ETH. Look at this volume in ETH. Like we had more volume in ETH. Like this is the fight around $1,000 that's driven all this volume. We've had more volume in ETH this week, like almost 1.5 times the volume that we had in the Terra capitulation. Bitcoin is not quite as much. It was basically the same amount of volume roughly as during the Terra capitulation. That's a lot of volume that's happened there. Not quite as much as in a May drop last year, but in the case of ETH, actually, it is basically, well, it's almost there. And there's still a number of hours to go, and we're fighting around 1,000 still. So there might be a lot of buying going on there as people realize that 1,000 is going to probably hold up quite nicely, and end up being a very good buying point. So, I don't know. I feel like this is meaningful. The one possible theory that I've heard that seems plausible is that, or seems plausible to me, is that crypto tends to price in this kind of downside more quickly. So it could be that the stock market will continue bleeding for some time, or like, you know, bleeding slowly for some time as like there's more consumers and so on. the crypto market is quicker at absorbing and like, pricing in the bad news, because there's less, well, there's just people are more emotional and quicker at trading there. And so it could be that all the downside is already priced in, and like the fact that, yeah, we're going to a recession, all that kind of stuff is already priced in. And so it's going to hang out around here for a while. I don't think that's so bad. I think in terms of NFTs, that could be very good news. It's like if we hang out here, also it's a very neat number, $1,000. It makes it very easy to calculate NFT prices in US dollars. Like 1 ETH equals 1,000, 0.1 is 100. It makes a lot of the lower priced NFTs look very attractive. Like there's a lot of stuff like in my price range, which has been like 0.2-ish. That's a couple of $100. That's a pretty decent price to get into a project that has a good potential. You can buy, yeah, like it makes sense. It feels good psychologically to have an ETH around 1,000. And of course, it might well go back up at some point when the market as a whole recovers, or it might go back up earlier. I don't know. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Like, anything you'd like me to talk about. I feel like I'm not very much in a preachy mode right now, because I'm really in this kind of open mode of accepting that I don't know what's going on and I'm curious to find out, which I think is a good place to be. I'm surprised that, Bitcoin, after dropping to 17,000, is back up at 19,000. There's so many surprises this week. It's been a very surprising week. I think it's a good, and we have a cat joining us. She's looking for what to do. But anyway, yeah, it's been interesting. How's your week been? Feel free to say something in the chat. Yeah. Do you think to start this? I've already started DCAing into ETH actually. I did at 1100, which was maybe a little bit early, but I've advised my wife to also buy in, and I'm also buying on behalf of my sort of like our joint business where we store some money. I'm also buying like each day a bit. I feel like ETH is likely to go up. So like as in. I don't know. It feels quite like there is a good resistance around here, and I don't think it's going to drop that much further. And I could be completely wrong, but it feels to me quite likely that ETH will end up being worth a lot more than what it is now, and so it feels like a good price to DCA. I'm not really a crypto trader though, so don't necessarily take my word for it. But like, there's people who look at things like the 200-week. I don't actually have the 200-week indicator here, but if let's see if I can add it. Where's the indicators? Yeah, indicator 200-week SMA. Where is it? Why don't I have the SMA? Hold on, I thought I added it just now. 200-week. Oh, it's going down below there. Well, I kind of would like it to be on the same chart, please. No, that's not very useful. Well, that's not what I want. Okay, I don't know why it's not adding it on the thing here. It's slash to add, yeah. 200-week. Can I not add it on the same thing? Technicals. Okay, well, anyway, probably need to upgrade my. Oh no, there it is. 200-week. This is traditionally a level where it bounces off, and we are there at that level in Bitcoin as well. How can I close these things? There. And how would I split 2K right now? $2,000. Well, I mean, I would like right now, because everything is super risky, and in a bear market, usually like lots of things die. I would be very hesitant to buy anything that's risky, and the least risky thing in crypto is going to be Bitcoin and ETH. So if I had just 2,000 to buy, I would probably DCA it $100 a day, or $100 a week over the next few weeks into Bitcoin and ETH. So end up with $1,000 in ETH and $1,000 in Bitcoin, and do it once a week over the next 10 weeks, basically. That's what I would do with just $2,000. That feels like a sensible thing to do. And it might go down a bit, but I don't know, like my sense is not going to go down much more. But bear in mind that $2,000 should be something that you don't need to touch for like, you know, a couple of years maybe, because it might take that long for the market to pick up again. So yeah, we're in an interesting period. Like also, okay, so if you look, I don't know why am I too, oh, because this is, let's see if Binance has a longer, no, it doesn't. For some reason, I don't have, I need a different Bitcoin here. Let's see, is there a different Bitcoin that has a longer? Is Bitstamp more? Let's try Bitstamp. Why is it not? Hold on, Bitstamp here. No, but I don't want it here. I want it here. Oh, this is so confusing. Sorry, I'm trying to get a longer term. There you go. Is this one longer term so I can see better? I don't want a percentage. I don't want this one. So we can see the 200 week. Yeah, like, okay, we need a log scale for this though. Oh, sorry, I'm not as fluent with TradingView as our friends at in other places. But yeah, the 200 week seems to be a good, like it doesn't go very far below the 200 week, and it's already quite a bit there. Like usually it bounces up there, and maybe it's going to be different this time. You know, it is the first time that we're in a recession. But you know, I don't know if you've listened to my podcast with Gabby, but one of the points I make there is that, you know, yes, it might feel like very scary and like, you know, there's a big recession and so on, and like, oh, like Web3 might die or something. But actually, in the general scheme of things, while it feels very important, what's going on right now, it's actually not very important. Just like the dot-com crash felt like a huge thing back in 2001 to a lot of people, and yet it made absolutely zero difference to the adoption of the web. And if you bet on the right horses back then, that was a good move. And it's still a good move right now to bet on the right horses. And I think Bitcoin is one of the right horses, and I think Ethereum is one of the right horses, so I'm betting on those. I've got a smattering of other things, which you can see here on the left. Some of them actually not as fun. Let me close that. Like, I don't have investments in all of those, but I bought some Kusama as well, which hasn't done particularly well. I bought some Polkadot. That's also done very badly, and like it's done too badly for me to bother selling it at this point, but I didn't buy a huge amount of it. Most of my money has gone in Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is also down badly, but I'm pretty sure we'll come out of the other end and end up making the all-time highs. So I think in the long term it's not going to matter, and I'm going to buy some more now because this feels like a good time to DCA into it. I'm focusing more on ETH because I have a use for ETH as well. I can use it to buy NFTs, but I'm not, but like with $2,000, I would split it between the two. Cool. Okay. Well, it feels like I'm not adding that much more to this stream now. So I'm gonna call it a day. Let me put the music on so we finish with some music. I hope this was helpful. Remember that the important thing in this state right now, the way the market is to know that we don't really know what's happening. And that's okay. Just don't assume that you know what's going on. And that's probably the strongest position you can have. Like, be open to discovering what might be happening next. Is there a turnaround going on in NFTs? Is there not? Is it about to come crashing down? Is it just a delayed crash? I don't know. Like, I'm seeing lots of contradictory information, and I'm staying open and like trying not to get stuck in one theory. And it might make me sounding a little bit more confused in my stream, but you know, sometimes that's a good thing, and I'd rather be honestly confused than pretend to know what I'm talking about when I don't. Thank you very much for your comments. Yeah, the course will hopefully be coming out. I mean, I think they're starting the editing tomorrow possibly, and the course will hopefully be out in early July sometime. So yeah, I'm hoping that's the case. and it'll be really cool. Like there'll be Zoom calls as well as part of the course, so I'll have a Zoom call with everybody near the beginning of the course and near the end of the course, and it'll be really good as well to get to know other people who want to evaluate projects in this way. And I'm hoping that in the context of, you know, the market being more bearish, evaluating projects for value, for long-term value, is going to be more useful to people than trying to follow the hype, and because that's what my course is about. But I think it's more valuable. Okay, well, thank you very much for dialing in. I hope to see you tomorrow for another stream. Maybe one that's less confused, or maybe one that's just as confused. And whatever it is, I'll be honest with you about my state of mind. And yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your Sunday. And if it's sunny where you are, maybe go and enjoy the sun. Take care. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.